Every now and then, the slow commerce of boxing endows a fight with an urgency, a sense of being overdue that raises it to a level of public spectacle unique among sports events. The man on the street need not be a daily reader of sports pages to understand the impact of a confrontation between two fighters, both of them unbeaten, both of them claiming to be heavyweight champion of the world. It's true of Tyson Spinks. It was unforgettably true 17 years ago when, here in Madison Square Garden, for the first of 3 times, Muhammad Ali faced off against Joe Frazier.
The anticipation of Tyson Spinks is indeed reminiscent of Ali Frazier I, still regarded by many as the greatest of heavyweight spectacles. Like Tyson Spinks, this was a battle of 2 undefeated fighters in their primes. The champion, short in stature, who threw all his punches with an intent to kill, and his opponent, a great boxer, who despite having had his title stripped by the political powers of boxing, still considered himself champion.
Impact of Ali Frazier I drew on the 3.5-year exile that Ali had to endure because of the Vietnam draft problem. And that he was coming back against the fighter who had succeeded him at least in record and with the title. And that was the magic of the fight.
Such magic began with personalities. Frazier, the good guy, the quiet family man, the champion of the establishment. The controversial Ali was the anti-establishment champion. Handsome, funny, free-thinking, always outrageous.
Man, you wait till I get Joe Frazier. I'm going to straighten all this mess out, Mr. Commissioner. You ain't going to be confused after this fight. When I whoop you.
The thing about it, see, you might don't be able to cross. You won't be you. You can't wait, man. You got to fight. When a man laying out, you don't see a man lay out. Listen to me, boy.
Never had 2 fighters stirred such compelling excitement, in no time transforming a title fight into a major cultural event.
It was the greatest thing that I have ever seen. It's the greatest event. It was judged to be the greatest event ever held in any one of the 4 Madison Square Gardens. It was everything. It was an Easter parade. It was a New Year's Eve. It was a St. Patrick's Day parade. It was all those things put into one.
After the fight's over and Frazier has caught hell, I'm going to jump over the rope and finish Cosell.
As the fight drew near, it was hard at times to figure out who was having more fun, the fans or the fighters.
You know what? I was thinking I better send you a couple of my sparring partners because you ain't got nothing down there like me.
Oh, man, I can beat you singing, too. Yes, I can. I can hold a note better than you and everything. I heard you on television singing. No kidding. Everybody talk about you can't sing.
I'll see you later, eh? I'll see you later, chump.
Finally, the evening the boxing world had waited for. The city of New York was electric. Outside of Madison Square Garden, the $150 ringside tickets, a record at that time, were easily being scalped for upwards of $500. Inside, the garden rocked with anticipation. The public address announcer said it best when he said, "No celebrities will be announced this evening. Everyone is here."
It was a great feeling that night. The expectation of a great fight, and it lived up to every expectation. The people that were there, I saw so many people from the cinema, from the actors were there. Everybody was there. Neiman was doing his sketching, God love him, and it was a great night. And let me tell you, I've lived through those nights many, many times with Muhammad Ali, but that first night was an exceptional night.
The fight itself was even greater than its height. 15 rounds of pure theater. Puncher versus boxer. Ordinary guy versus superstar. The deciding punch was a tremendous left, which put Ali on the canvas, remarkably, for only a moment. But on this evening, Joe Frazier was the better fighter. The build-up and then the fight left an indelible impression on the history of boxing.
Jim Lampley is back with us again. Jim, that was such an extraordinary event. The times, Ali, the greatest entertainer we've ever seen in boxing or perhaps in all of sport. 2 great young heavyweight champions. Can this fight approach that?
Well, I think you touch on the most important contrast, which is the times in which that fight took place. That was the apex of an era of political involvement, political activism in this country, a kind of mindset that simply doesn't exist right now. And Ali was a political figure. Let's face it, neither Michael Spinks nor Mike Tyson has risen to that level. On the other hand, there's a different appeal here. Tyson is the knockout artist, and I think the public has a fascination with the destroyer, the knockout artist. It didn't exist in the same way with Frazier and Ali, and that's the essence of this fight's appeal.
There was, for a lot of people who had been polarized by the times and by Ali, a good versus evil aspect of that confrontation, which there isn't now. Can this fight really live up to the event?
Oh, I think it can, in the sense that there is the chance for an enormous upset here. The public seems to believe in overwhelming numbers that Tyson has an easy match, that he will knock Spinks out. So I think that a competitive fight in which Michael Spinks establishes himself as a real contender to take Tyson's 3 crowns away could raise this event to the level of drama that Ali Frazier enjoyed.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
We'll see you at ringside. You've no doubt heard about all the money this fight will generate. Where is it coming from, and how will it be distributed? Glad you asked.
The demand for tickets has been unparalleled. I mean, 11 weeks before the fight, we had sold more dollar value tickets than for any fight in history.
From every indication and every pre-sale at this point, the Tyson-Spinks fight will be the biggest fight in history.
A fight like Tyson-Spinks happens every 10, 20, maybe not even every 10 or 20 years. It's an event. It's not just obviously a boxing match.
Lots of money indeed. Tyson and Spinks are expected to generate close to $70 million. After taxes and expenses, $40 million will be the remaining gross to be divided between the Tyson and Spinks camps, and then the fight and closed-circuit promoters. Here's where that $40 million comes from. The site, Trump Casino in Atlantic City. The bill to Donald Trump, $11 million, a record by far. Revenues from closed-circuit, pay-per-view, and foreign sales. After expenses, somewhere in the neighborhood of $25 million. Diet Pepsi, as part of a huge deal with Tyson, was happy to pay $1.25 million to have its name and logo synonymous with Tyson-Spinks. And the delayed television rights to broadcast the fight will add another $3 million to the existing pot. It's not hard to see that an event such as this is among the biggest of big businesses. And here's how that $40 million will be divided. According to his management, the Tyson camp should receive an estimated $22 million, maybe even more, because he's the champion. The Spinks camp is getting the challenger's guaranteed share of $13.5 million. Don King will receive $3 million, out of which he's responsible for expenses. And depending on how big the theatrical revenues are, closed-circuit promoter Shelley Finkel can make upwards of $1.5 million. All of the money makes Tyson versus Spinks richer even than the most expensive piece of art.
How much will the fighters actually get? Well, after his management and the IRS take their cuts, Spinks will clear roughly $5 million, give or take. Tyson should clear $9 million, plus $5 million or so from a sponsor connected with the event. Which brings us to another money machine, Donald Trump. Donald, how could you have outbid Las Vegas by millions of dollars when they have so much experience in these type of events to put on this championship fight?
I don't think I outbid them by millions of dollars. I think they probably would have paid what I paid or more. As it turned out, it was a pretty good deal. It's turned out to be a much bigger event, I think, than I thought it was going to be when we actually bid the fight. This event has turned out to be a monster, as you very well know. But with Atlantic City, you have New York, you have New Jersey, you have Washington, you have so many different places. Philadelphia, which is a great fight city. And you just get more people. Plus, I believe that I have the most beautiful arena in the world. The hall that we have to stage this fight is far greater than anything in Las Vegas.
Are people really willing to spend $1,500 for ringside, or